Hello boys and girls, it's Ms. Pridmore, and this week we are talking about how characters change in a story. Well, today we're going to talk about how sometimes characters change because of events that take place in the story. So let's take a look at my board. Okay, at the top it says, sometimes characters change because of events. So we're going to make this column for the title. This column is how they change, and this is why. So that's what we want to focus on today. Trying to understand and identify why certain characters changed in a story. What were the events that led them to change? Okay, so let's start with a book that we read on Monday, All for Me and None for All. Yeah, how did Gruntley change in this story? Well, in the beginning, if you remember, Gruntley was very selfish. And by the end, he learned to share. Do you remember what caused him to start sharing? Let's take a look. It says, Gruntley was so moved by his companion's kindness and honesty, there was only one thing to do. And then it goes on to say that Gruntley shared. So he was inspired by his friend's kindness and honesty. Can we write that? So as I write on the board, let's just recap what happened. They were on a treasure hunt, he and his friends. And he was the very last person to get to the end of the treasure hunt. And his friends had saved a bag of trail mix just for him. And when he realized that they could have gone ahead and grabbed his and eaten it because he had been very selfish through the whole story, he was really inspired by their kindness and honesty, and he learned how to share. So I'm going to say he was inspired by his, the book says companions, but companion is another word for friend, friends. We're putting the apostrophe at the end of the S because it's more than one friend. So it's his friends, all of his friends, kindness, and honesty. Okay, so he didn't expect them to be so kind and honest because he hadn't been very kind and honest earlier in the story. Has anyone ever done something that was unexpected that you actually really liked? And has that ever changed you? Yeah, sometimes it is as simple as someone saying, hey, I like your hair today, or hey, I like your shirt. And then you start changing by deciding, you know what, it feels so good to get a compliment that I wasn't expecting. I'm going to look for ways to compliment others. Yeah, so even we can be like characters in a story. We change based on events that happen to us, just like characters change based on events that happen to them in a story. Well, today we learned a different change that happened to Mirette. Now Mirette learned to walk on the tightrope. It says Mirette on the high wire, but another word for high wire is tightrope. Now, in the beginning of the story, did she know how to walk on a tightrope? No. So what happened that had her learn how to walk on the tightrope? Well, she was also inspired, wasn't she? If you read today's story, you'll find out that Mirette was inspired by someone. So if you're watching my video now, can you pause and go back and watch the video, Mirette on the high wire? Then you can come back and see if you can tell me what inspired, better, who inspired Miret to learn how to walk on the tightrope. Bye, boys and girls.